guys ready to start the show?
I was 16 years old, and a friend, he's like, we're going to a Screeching Weasel concert. I was like, I don't even know what that is, but I need to make some friends and do something. Like, if there's like an older, cool skateboard kid asking me to do something, I'll say, whatever you want. Heroin? Let's do it. I just need acceptance. Please let me into the group, because I had nothing leading up to that. At that point, this was, I mean, I think Nevermind came out in 91 as a freshman in high school, and that was like the big, impactful, this record's changing stuff. And I listened to him like, it's like kind of good. It was probably sad. It like bummed me out. I was like, I'm 14. What I got nothing to be sad about? Things are good. I ride my BMX bike wherever I want. Music's bumming me out. And like Pearl Jam, I was like, all right, but I'm still like, ugh, sad all the time. But this is what I like what this is about. And so and up to that point, I was invited to go to concerts. I was invited to go see the Ramones with Social Distortion opening. And my mom said I couldn't go. And I missed going to see the last Naked Ragan, the heyday of Naked Ragan in Chicago. I wasn't invited by the cool kids. I just remember being in my Spanish class, like, I can't believe that concert was awesome. I'm like, you guys got my number. You could have told me. It just sounds cool. I don't know what it is, but it sounds cool. So because the vicinity where this place maybe a mile and a half where we're going to go see Screeching Weasel, there's a bar called McGregor's in Elmhurst, Illinois, which is on the corner of Route 83 and North Avenue. And it's not a significant place. There's a Burger King on one corner, like an old steakhouse on one, and a creek, and then the strip mall where the bar was, where the band would be playing. But the only significance that place had is that I found out from my uncle, who's a firefighter, was talking about how that was, during the Cold War, that was ground zero for where Russia would drop nuclear bombs on the Chicagoland area, was that intersection. He's a firefighter, so he had all the hazard maps, and that's where they hit it, because if you're a warmonger, you want to kill the most people. So you really think, like, do we want to just hit right in the middle of Chicago? Because so much of that blast would go out over the lake, and how wasteful would that be as a warmonger? So let's make sure we find the population center of that city, and that was the intersection where I was going to go. I'm like, oh, I know this place. That's where nuclear bombs will land if shit goes down. So we went there, and it was Valentine's Day in 1993, and there's a line just going around this whole mall. It was a sports bar that would have all ages shows in the back. And I'm like, how are all these people here for this band? So they're not on MTV, and they're not on the radio. How do people even know about this band? And it was everybody that was in line. I'm like, oh, these are the kind of people. All right, I like these guys. You got like weird shit in your face, tattoos. You're like 13. What are you doing? All right. And when we got to the doors, and we were like maybe 10 people away from the doors in the line, they're like, it's closed, sold out. And it was the last show of this bar, of this place, McGregor's. And like, so Screeching Weasel said they were going to do one more show later. So we waited. We just sat there. And it was a school night, Sunday night, 11:30. I'm like, I don't even care. I got to see what this is about. Why are all these people in line? And I went in and saw Screeching Weasel. And it was from sitting there having a guitar that I bought and thinking Joe Satriani. I'm like, I'm going to play like Joe Satriani. Going, no, you're not. No, Slash exists because he's Slash, and you're not Slash. You're Kyle. And Kyles are never rock and roll stars. There's never like, Kyles are always just assholes or nerds from 80s movies. That's it. That's your lot in life, buddy. That's what you got. Let's alliterate your name. Thanks, parents. Kyle Kinane. Double down on those comedy Ks. So I saw this band, and I saw them play. I'm like, I know that chord. I know what you're playing, and I know that song, and I can play that song. And so to watch them play, I was like, I can do, and it was the music, it was all the music I want. Like, that's what music's supposed to sound like, and all these people heard about it somehow already. I got to figure out what they know, and I got to figure out how to play what this is. So I had enough money for one record, and I went with Economy, because look at it was the Wiggle tour that they were on, but Boogada 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 had the most songs on it. I was still a frugal 16-year-old at that point. I'm like, it's got the most songs, bang for the buck, give me that one. And I think within 3 days, I had learned every song on that album. And at that point, I was like, oh, this thing that they're doing on a stage that all these people are here for, I can do that thing. I can do that. I'm playing it right now. And if I get somebody else to play bass and drums, which can't be much harder than me figuring this out, I could have a band. I never thought I could have that, listening to, Appetite for Destruction and thinking like, I got the first 3 notes of Paradise City down. Like, I'm never going to be in Guns N' Roses, but I can figure out how to play this. And that was the most inspirational moment in my life, realizing that was still something that was accessible, that music was accessible, that I could play it without being some virtuoso. And so I learned that album, and I started a band, and because of that, I got over stage fright and realized being a smart ass, I could do it in front of people, but then eventually realized that my music ability capped at Screeching Weasel songs. But the smartassery proceeded beyond that, so I found stand-up comedy. So that night and that album's kind of responsible for where I'm at in my life right now. So yeah, Boogada Boogada Boogada. That's the album that changed my life. So cheers, guys. Thank you very much.